The following program was paid for by Southern American Media.
Fox 30 welcomes you to Meridian's favorite TV personalities and three-time CMA nominees for Broadcast Personality of the Year. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Debbie.
You got to hit the right button, Odie.
Here we are. It's Friday. We made it here. End of the week.
I'm your friend, Scotty Ray. This is Odie. And if you didn't join us earlier, and I should have known this, I asked Odie, I said, what's up with the red shirt? And I'll let you explain that, why you wear red on Fridays.
Yeah, so red on Fridays, RAD. Remember everyone deployed. So everybody that's out serving the country, that's overseas and not with their family, we just wear red as a remembrance for them and knowing that our prayers go out to them and their families while they're overseas.
Now, also in the same breath, as I mentioned earlier this morning, as you bring up deployment, we have to send condolences first thing if you missed that show this morning. Yeah. Alaska is where we go for a helicopter crash. 2 U.S. Army helicopters have crashed, leaving 3 of our soldiers deceased. We send condolences to those families. We hate to start anything off on a sad note, but our guys, our boys, we need to remember those.
That's it. Yes, we do.
Good
morning, Jim. How are you?
What's Jim up to?
He is a friend of mine's dad, and I guess I Facebook met him last night.
Facebook? How do you Facebook meet someone? Like live?
No, he sent me a friend request, and I always get on there and say, okay, who is this? And I start looking, and it come up, and I was like, oh, he's a buddy of mine's dad. And so then we just talked a little bit on Messenger and everything, and so he's up this morning saying, hey, and watching. Appreciate you watching. Enjoy having you here. So good deal.
You ever catch somebody on television or whatever? You can't help but make assumptions. And I often felt for Dog the Bounty Hunter. You know, when he was married to Beth before she passed away.
Yeah.
That was one tough woman, was it not?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, if he'd have looked at another woman, I think she'd have cut him. I mean,
both of them.
She
wouldn't have given. I mean, yeah, she was tough.
Her daughter, and I just read about this morning. Her daughter, Homeburn, which is Dog's daughter as well.
Okay.
Lost everything they had, and what she is saying that she lost all of her pictures that she had of her mother. And before I say this, I'm going to say I'm not even following my own advice. But if you've got pictures, truthfully, that mean a lot to you, it's good to do a digital copy of that and put it on a flash drive and throw it somewhere in a safety deposit box so that you won't lose everything that you've got.
And there's companies out there that will take anything that you've had as far as multimedia. What we grew up with, the old reel-to-reel home movies. So, if it means something, do that. Reach out to a company and get that converted over.
Yeah, coming up, we're going to talk about the slowest woman in Meridian who is late.
And she's a racer.
I know that. Late. Yeah. In radio on top of it.
In radio.
7 o'clock means 7 o'clock.
That's okay. You know, she's a good-looking woman. So
she's working on the makeup.
Waited on.
Yeah. Men always just dropping the hat. You know how they used to throw the coat on the ground and let them walk?
Right.
That's
what.
Over
the puddle. Yeah. We're going to stop.
Special guest coming up this morning to talk about what's going on at the Temple Theater. We've got that right around the corner. We start today out, and maybe the cleanup has already happened. We do hope that everything is back to normal, but we had an accident early this morning, right around 6 a.m. as we go out to Dogwood Lake Road. Whoops, that's the wrong one.
That was the Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, we'll get into the Hot Pursuit here in a minute. Let me go back to the accident that we had. Odie, what am I doing over here? Here we go. This is
it's Friday morning.
There it is. We had a wreck on Dogwood Lake Road this morning. And if you've ever been up this is in front of the old Bailey Grocery. And it's that little first road to the left there that sometimes you don't catch. And we had an accident there, possibly with injuries. I know Stanley Lucky was all over it. The volunteer fire department, the sheriff's department was there. And we do hope everyone is okay. But that slowed traffic for everybody that went to Highway 39 that direction.
And this, in the morning times where you travel, you never know if you're going to have a blocked road. So always be cautious every time you go somewhere.
And since we already spilled the beans that there was a car chase last night, let's go on back to that.
Might as well hit that now, huh?
Woo, boy. Out by near Highland Park is where we must go. This is where it all went down there. It was a Honda Well, it was kind of great. Just didn't want to stop. I mean, sometimes you just don't feel like stopping for the blue lights.
Maybe his brakes went out.
That could have been it.
Or it was in Highland Park. He was scared to stop.
It could be it. But when he did finally stop there on 47th Avenue, he thought, I'll wait on the deputy. I'm just going to run on down to Jitney Jungle. And he commenced to running.
Yeah.
Foot pursuit happened there. He was taken into custody trying to hide under someone's house a little bit later on. If you see a lot of blue lights and you hear bumping underneath your house, that's probably where they are.
Yeah, call and say, I think he's under mine.
That does happen a lot.
It does at the Neshoba County Fair. People wake up, don't mind, how did I get under here?
There's a lot that goes on at the Neshoba County Fair.
Oh, me.
And as you brought that up, this is already, do you realize how close that's coming? It ain't all that long till everybody starts getting ready for
2 months.
Fair.
Yeah, wow. Man, time flies. It's not just this hour.
It does. Now, we did have another incident yesterday where we were blocked for probably 2 to 3 hours. Highway 493 was shut down. We had a single vehicle accident yesterday.
Yeah.
And as we go to that, this would be right by the Presbyterian Church on Highway 493. We pull this up. A car lost control, come around the curve and hit the light pole, and then the three-phase power was laid out across the highway there for quite some time as the power company tried to restore the power, put the pole back up, and well, you couldn't pass. That's serious stuff when that power line falls.
Yeah, you can't cross that over. And yes, you've got rubber tires, but you will never know if these wires will ever jump up and hit your car. So it's always safety first, and everybody involved, the first responders. So it's always a slow process.
That it is. Let's see some. I was trying to think. It seemed like there was something else that went on. We had a. I got a note, and I don't have all the details on this, but if you were in the Carthage area, you know where that is, right up northwest. Boy, they had a big old car chase last night with the Mississippi Highway Patrol.
And Carthage?
Carthage. I'm talking about chunking
Y'all
out.
wake up. It's front page news over there, isn't it?
Spikes, the whole 9 yards, and they didn't want to stop after that. They just kept riding on the rim.
You don't want to do that in Clark County. They don't have spikes.
It doesn't work that way down there, does it? They mean it.
They mean it. Look, Sheriff Todd Kemp over there.
Todd does a wonderful job.
He's something else. And Sheriff Chancellor coming behind him.
Let's see here.
We're going to support both of them. Just like we do Todd, we're going to support Anthony.
Let's see here. Nolan, we have the third annual, and I got this at the last moment of some events that are coming up this weekend.
Technology.
Let's see. Yeah, I got it sent to my phone. The third annual Nolan Riley Norris Co-ed softball tournament's happening this weekend also. So
check that out. Search that and get some information on it. And if you play softball and have, how many does it take? 9?
I don't know. I think I got glasses on. I can't see it.
You want to borrow mine?
Let's see. We got the Taste of Philly coming up this weekend, Odie.
Now.
We got all this pictures here somewhere in my computer. It's going to be tomorrow, the 23rd, from, I think it says 11 to 5. Is that what that says?
That says 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
There's other words on the page, but I have no idea what they say. So y'all enjoy that in Philadelphia this weekend.
Brother David Lee says no sound. Hit the volume switch.
We got sound. Something's happening on your end there. So many folks joining us, and as always, if you've got a birthday, something that is happening, we'd love to know about that. More going on in the Meridian area. And coming up, we're going to have some lovely ladies talk to us about this event that's happening at the Temple, live from the Temple. Yeah. That's coming up next. We'll be right back.
Bring on the amazing colors of spring. It's the perfect time to spend in the yard. Al's Garden and Gift voted the best place to shop for beautiful bedding and vegetable plants, shrubs, hanging baskets, succulents, roses, and ferns in the state. Full line of mulches, soils, sod, and longleaf pine straw available for freshening up flower beds. There's always unique gifts, candles, pottery, and new shipment of delicious gourmet sauces, spices, rubs, jellies, and jams too. Bloom with happiness. Come visit the expanded nursery today at Al's Garden and Gift.
J&J Tire Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes. And they even do work on motorcycles. With the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems, Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical. 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian. 601-693-6374.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie, as we bring in this Friday morning. About 61 right now. We're going to get to. It is. It's one of those. If you do a walking thing early in the morning, it's perfect for that. This is it. It feels crisp and it's clean. Can't get it out.
I mean, I can breathe for the first time this week pretty good. So maybe it's just a nice weather we got outside.
79 about the high for today, as we do have a chance of severe weather in eastern Alabama tomorrow night. Now, down on Mississippi Gulf Coast, if you're headed there for an event, there's some rain chances there that could be heavy. But our area, pretty good weather. We have nothing to complain about. The rain is out after Sunday and back to sunshine. Now, we mentioned a few moments ago the slowest woman in Meridian. We have located her today.
We got her.
Let's welcome in Shelly Whitehead. How are you doing, Miss Elena? Now, I can't pronounce your last name. It's the only reason I didn't say it.
That's all right. How are y'all?
How do you pronounce your last name, Elena?
Actually, I don't get
You
wound
can't
up
say it
about
either?
it, but it's Atlanta like banana.
Okay.
And Broughton like Broughton.
Broughton. Atlanta.
Yes.
Broughton.
Yes.
Here
You
we
got
go.
it.
Working on it. Shelly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Been a little while since you and I had a chance, and you're out and about. Y'all are all decked out, looking like twins.
We are. This is about the 10th interview we have done this week.
Well, we'll do our interview a little bit
Save the
different.
best for last.
There you go.
Exactly.
So, the Temple Theater is where all this is going on. Of course, Ken Rainey has a little something to do with this.
He does. Ken Rainey is an awesome, amazing person.
Oh, absolutely.
And just a fabulous mentor for someone in broadcasting. So, and someone that has, like myself, has found a love for, doing some event planning for country music. So he's been a lot of fun, but we're raising money for the Temple Theater on Sunday. And
now, what time does it start? And then we're going to get into what happens
What
there.
happens? Okay. So, live from the Temple, Nashville Songwriters Showcase is going to start at 2 p.m. on Sunday at the Temple Theater. And we have some fabulous songwriters coming from Nashville, and we have some even more fabulous local regional songwriters, including Alana Broughton right here, and Scott McQuaig. And we have a newbie coming up from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. His name is Sam Donald.
Yeah.
So he's a great performer as well. So
There's always
gonna
that
be great.
thing of people go, well, I want to know, I wonder how a song got written. And when next time you listen to "You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly," you'll know.
I mean, there's a reason behind it.
But truthfully, most songs, especially, let's back up. Say 10 years ago, country music it told a story.
Yeah, something
Yes.
behind that story.
Right. So, and that's what we've got. Lynn, one of the best writers that Nashville has to
Lynn
offer.
Variable?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he is.
and he's funny too. He's
Yeah.
real funny.
He is.
Hilarious.
He really is.
I remember sitting at the Temple Theater some 25 years ago. Dean Dillon, Ken had brought Dean, and he was telling the story of how he got started writing for George Strait. And he said he got sent for a loaf of bread. And he said he goes to town to get a loaf of bread, and he got sidetracked. I mean, anybody could get sidetracked going to get bread.
Well, yeah.
And he stumbles in this little bar, and he said, I might have had a little bit too much to drink. And he said, I stumbled back home at about 4 a.m., and he said, it hit me. I saw this thing on the wall that said Marina Del Rey. And he said, I sat down and I wrote this. And he goes, my wife was yelling at me. And he said, and I gave it to the record label. And they said, where is Marina Del Rey? And he said,
California.
They just gave me this hard time. He goes, they got this big plaque that says Marina Del Rey up at RCA Records now. But
It
a
brought in
neat
the money.
story. And there's so much of this. Now, what's it cost to get in to see this?
It's $20 at the door. You can go to itickets.com, or you can go to the Temple Theater website, or you can call Super Talk Studios at 601-693-1103. We've been delivering tickets all over town.
Can you
all
just
week
drop
long.
in, see Hilda there behind the tinted glass?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Ring the doorbell. She'll come, or we'll bring them to you. We'll deliver them. We'd be more than happy to drop them off at your office or wherever.
Remind me of how many seats does the Temple hold?
I believe it's 1,000.
And so it's a very intimate. Is that the? Can you use that word on?
You
TV?
can use that because it
Intimate?
is a nice. It used to be.
It's very
1540 something.
personal. It's a very
Yeah,
personal
1540 is it.
experience.
1540 is the max for it.
Okay.
But
Where the camera is at the top is
That-
where you have to take out the extra few people.
yeah, and in the balcony they may not open it all the time or something, but yeah, we can stick some folks up in there.
It's a beautiful show. Now,
Well, we would love for it to be packed out. Love for it. Because we want, when we're bringing these songwriters from Nashville, the last thing you want is to be embarrassed because there's not anyone there.
Correct.
You want as many people in a venue as possible because you want these people to want to come back.
That's right.
And that you want them to go to Nashville and be like, oh my
Y'all gotta go
gosh,
check that out."
Meridian packed it out. What a great show. They were the best audience we've ever had.
so has anybody during these interviews this week asked you where them earrings come from?
My earrings?
Yeah, I was just curious
I'm trying
there.
to think.
Well, look at them earrings over there.
I do a lot. Unfortunately, I do have a thing for earrings and hats and
Yeah.
shoes. You know why women love shoes, right?
I've heard tell of that. I've heard this rumor.
Because their feet don't get fat. They stay about the same size.
Yeah. I'm still in the same size as I was in high school.
Same with earrings.
Yeah.
And I mean, if my head got any bigger, then maybe we'd really have a problem. Y'all would probably have to have a talking to me about
But you
it.
know, ladies don't wear hats like they used to. Have you noticed that?
Not-
It's becoming a
Well, I'm
Sunday
trying to bring it
hats.
back.
go, girl, go.
So-
Now, Miss Banana,
Yes,
as we
sir.
cut back over here,
Yes, sir.
are you a singer also, along with being a songwriter, or are you just songwrite?
I am. My husband says I sing in my sleep. I do. I do
So
sing.
what is give me some titles of some songs you've written. What is it that you've written?
Well, the song I wrote for the Jimmy Rogers competition is Made in Mississippi.
What's it about? Candy or what'd you make?
Well, I guess it could be about whatever you want it to be in Mississippi. That's what these songwriters, I've listened to them on YouTube talking about, this is what it meant to me, but hopefully a good song is going to be universal. So, but I grew up in Butler, but I was born in Meridian.
Yeah.
And
So she was made in Mississippi.
I was made in,
Well, now
if
you was made in Alabama, just brought forth in Mississippi.
well, now if you live in Butler,
right there.
if you live in Butler, you have to come to Meridian for a date.
Well,
So
that's
it's
true.
very
Well,
likely
yeah.
that I was really made in Mississippi.
Well, there you go.
It's very likely. So
on the way back home.
the words to that, I was crossing the state line. I'd been at the studio with Shelley and Ken Rainey, and I'd seen Ken talking about on his show All About Country how Tammy Wynette was born in Mississippi because her little town in Alabama didn't have a hospital. Well, that's just about everybody in my county. We're all born in Meridian. And I thought, if Tammy Wynette can claim Mississippi, I can too.
Yep.
Because
Well, there you go.
Mississippi is a music mecca. Meridian is a country music mecca. So, made in Mississippi, just across the line from Alabama. Take your shoes off, baby. This red clay is hollow ground.
Well, there you are. So when is they announced the winner of the Jimmy Rogers songwriter?
I think it's that Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Okay.
And that would be, let's see, the Crawfish Boils on the 6th. Then we have their Signature Review is that Sunday.
Right.
Then Monday is the Country Music Seminar. Obviously, I've been talking about Jimmy Rogers a lot as well. Tuesday night's the Jimmy Jam, and then Wednesday night is the Songwriters.
A lot
And it's
going
all
on
at the
there.
Max.
So again, give us ticket pricing, where we can get them, the locations, what time that show starts.
For Live from the Temple?
Live from the Temple.
Because we've talked about a couple different things. Live from the Temple, again, you can go to itickets.com. Tickets are $20 beforehand, or you can go to Temple Theater, call the studio, Super Talk Studios at 601-693-1103, or you can buy them at the door for $25.
Come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll have some in Butler at the Ruby Corner Marketplace for people who want to buy from Choctaw County.
There you are. More on the way as we begin this
Yeah.
Friday morning. It is shaping up for all of us. Sunshine. It's going to look good until late in the afternoon. So y'all smile. We'll be back.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Folks, if your yard is needing grass and you need it quick, talk to our friends at Coates Hydro Seeding. They offer residential and commercial. The great thing about this, it doesn't wash, the water treads, and it holds the soil in place. It's the easiest way to grow grass. That's hydro seeding. You'll get a great looking lawn without all the dry spots. How many times have you put out seed and it gets washed away, blown away, or even the birds eat it? Talk to our friends at Coates Hydro Seeding, 601-728-1954.
Your local farmer knows a good deal when he sees one. The L-Series Kubota tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA and offered at Parish Kubota with 0% financing available. Come see why we're more than a tractor store at Parish Tractor.
Welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie as we start this morning. And one thing that we need to point out is if you're selling anything locally, pay close attention to this as the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department puts this out about a scam that is going on. Let's pull this up from the Sheriff's Department page here as we look at this. Scam alert, cashier's check. If anyone is trying to pay for anything that you've sold online with one of these locally, do not accept it. A lot of scams going on with it, and we don't want you shortchanged or lose anything that you've got.
Here's a key.
What is it?
If you're selling something on the internet and meeting somebody at the fire department, police department, or somewhere out in the open, pay for it with cash. Now, you still want to look, make sure that it's got the little stripes and all that.
What is that
stuff.
color marker, Odie, that you can...
Yeah, you can buy them anywhere, and you mark it, and if it changes colors, it's fake. But a cashier's check, really? Who goes to the bank to buy a cashier's check to go buy something unless it's a car or a house or something like that?
Then you get pulled over in Flowood, and they take your money.
What do they call something that? To get pulled over and you'll be all right.
What do they call that? Forfeiture, seizure? What do they call it?
Yeah, well, if you got some dope in there with you, or
it's going to get taken.
It's going to get took. So, but I mean, come on, common sense. Don't.
Yeah.
You sold a $20 item and somebody brought you a certified check. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not. Hey, we're getting ready for the next season of this. Wild Hogs, the season is getting ready to get started on this. What a nuisance we have throughout the state of Mississippi with this. Tears up crops, costs farmers millions of dollars. That's in the minds of a lot of people there. And that maybe we should have invented one of those pig traps. You ever sit back and watch that where you can sit in your house and watch your video and go...
And catch them. It's kind of like, what was that game we played? Mousetrap?
Yeah, yeah.
You got a pig trap.
One day they're going to have that in nightclubs to where you pick out the one. They just can't get away.
They already have that, don't they?
We do. The other day, I almost missed what you just said there. We do have one of the escapees. We had 4 guys break out of prison in the Jackson, Mississippi area, Hinds County. One ended up being a murderer. He only had a misdemeanor charge. We've got one more that has been caught in Texas. You remember we had mentioned that a truck we thought had been found. They've caught one of them. So that leaves 2 at large. Still, be on the lookout until these guys are caught. If you've got one that can commit murder, who says another one can't? So we watch that also.
Yeah, you have to play it on the safe side. If one turned that way, who knows what they all got together and said. They may be all the same mindset. I'm not going back. So,
and that's what that was.
Yeah.
Let's go to Collinsville next because we brought up yesterday the puppy dog out in Southeast that the reward is up to $1,000 for that little pup. Little bitty fella, the family, they've sent me several texts. They're worried about it. We go to Collinsville this morning for another family that's upset they've lost their pup. And this one is a lot easier to spot because he's a lot bigger as we look at this. This is a pup. He's Buddy. He's 1 year old. He's just wanting a cheesecake or something right now. If y'all could see him anywhere out near Collinsville, 4-way stop around the Piggly Wiggly, let them know.
Yeah.
Inbox me. We'll get in touch with someone to see that their pup gets back. We do hope that.
Yeah, poor fella.
Oh, I know. Your dogs just become part of your family, and I think so many people relate to that. Mine aggravate me, but boy, I sure would miss them.
Oh, yeah.
Still miss OJJ to this day.
Oh, I know you do.
He was singing that Alfalfa song, I'm in the mood for love, and it didn't work out too good for JJ.
We hate that.
As we go to West Point, Mississippi, as we start looking around the state of Mississippi, these threats, and they have to be taken seriously. A threat was made at a high school in West Point. They're all about that. They'll eventually track down who made the threat and take them into custody.
There's records of it. You can't hide everything.
No.
These things right here have so much information that gets pushed out every time you hit the call button, the text button. They're going to find you.
It amazes me of often the crimes that are committed, even locally, to where they carry along their cell phone just in case they need to phone a friend, and they lose the cell phone at the scene of the crime.
Don't y'all watch CSI? Y'all not. Come on now.
And if they think you're a suspect, can't they go back and look at your cell record where you were in that neighborhood?
Well, no, you've got to have probable cause, so that's still
Right.
we're still privacy. But if they've got enough reason to tell a judge, say, look, this is why we really think it is, and the judge says, well, go find out.
And then you ping there, it ain't looking good.
Then you got to ask that question, why did you say no?
You know, years ago, and I forget which killer it was, back in the day to where people had to send in a letter to a newspaper. Do you remember that when somebody was doing crimes and they'd write in letters?
Yeah.
Well, the killer, I forget how many people, he killed like 10 or 12 women. He printed off, he made a note, typed it out, and done a Google area on the map and sent it to them. FBI gets involved in that, and they narrowed it down through Google who searched that area at that particular time, and they got their man. That was his mistake.
Wow.
Talk about technology.
Yeah. You know, things that make you go,
It does.
There's technology.
No word
traps
yet,
everywhere.
speaking of, if any of the grand jury advice is passed on to the Meridian Police Department upper heads about training anybody. We're pulling for them there. We sure hope that works out there. We'll train it. Hey, call Billy today. He'll be glad to let you tag along and do some training there.
I think he's getting ready to do some extra fishing.
I keep hearing that rumor there. Billy, I hope you're doing good. He's recovering there. The substitute teacher that we mentioned in Jackson County, Mississippi, well, still remains in jail. What a sticky situation there, as this guy had been doing it for quite some time. And it's getting down to a he said, she said thing.
Yeah.
The county in Jackson County, Mississippi, contracted with someone to hire substitute teachers so they didn't have to look for them. Well, they didn't vent this guy at all, is what it's really shaping down to. And he had some prior issues there. And then he started telling students to look him up on his app, and there was some bad things on there. We'll leave it at that.
You know, that's whose fault is it? Ultimately, it's his, and he ought to serve
that's
100%. But then that temp agency.
You got to do the research.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like
what it is.
Let me use an example, Odie. Let's just say that you run a city, and you have a person that's supposed to check people's driver's license before they drive a city vehicle.
Well, yeah.
I'd say, yeah, do your job.
I thought that was a prerequisite anyway.
That's what I thought. Just
Most
saying.
jobs, whether you drive something or not, you got to have a driver's license, because how you getting there?
That's correct. Good morning. It is Friday as we do this. We're going to learn some more about the Temple Theater coming up. And also, we're going to take that trip back in time of what happened today. And we'll test these young ladies here to see if they really know. Because they're wearing the hat and the earrings over there, acting like they know a lot.
They look smart anyway.
Yeah. Let's get a view before we cut to commercials. Here they are. Here's the ladies in the studio this morning. Look, aren't they just gorgeous over there? We'll be right back again. This is live from the Temple coming up this weekend. We want y'all to attend all that. And plus, we're going to look at all what happened today. Some interesting facts upon today. Are you looking for a trustworthy place to buy your next car or truck? Visit my friends at Massey Supermart Auto Sales. They've been doing business since 1955. There's a reason they've been in business for so long. They have fair prices, superior service, and repeat customers. For your next quality pre-owned vehicle, it's Massey Supermart Auto Sales. Taking care of your car needs at 1023 Highway 39 North.
Profit dealer, Massey Supermart. Nothing adds more value to your home than well-manicured landscaping. Distinctive Borders can transform the look of your residential or commercial landscaping with continuous decorative concrete curbing. Distinctive Borders adds an attractive, durable, and permanent solution that will add value and prestige to the overall appearance of your home's landscape. Choose from a custom range of colors and patterns at an affordable price. Call them today for your free estimate and design idea. Distinctive Borders, 601-490-3678.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. And welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray around with Odie as we look at everything that's going on. Maybe you need a career change. We've talked about this a lot. And a shortage of folks that help others. It's all across the United States is EMTs. And if you'd like to lend that helping hand, MCC has exactly what you're looking for on this.
Yeah, this is something that you can learn at your own pace to an extent. It's all on the computer, so you can go to work and then turn around that evening and study on your own. And then you can go take your national registry and become an EMT. Go to school and do your paramedic after that. But you can start all this at MCC. Of course, it's not just the studies. You've got to go to the hospitals. You've got to do your clinicals. You've got to ride with Metro. You've got to do this for so many hours that goes along with your studying. But every bit of this you can get here local at MCC. Get a new career to better yourself, better your family, or just make you feel good that you're saving lives.
Even on the fire department, they need EMTs. See them. They'll help you out there. That telephone number to call out to MCC is 553-3487. Before we get things going, I understand that our hat lady is headed somewhere. Hat lady, tell us again, do a recap of where we can get our tickets.
Go to itickets.com or go to the Temple Theater and the website, and you can get your tickets there. They're $20 each. And we just want as many people to pack out the Temple Theater on Tuesday. I mean, not Tuesday. Look, Sunday. I just said, I was like, it's Friday. Oh, my gosh.
I get confused all the time. But it's Sunday afternoon, a great time to come out. Yeah. We appreciate y'all coming in. And again, this is the Temple Theater, a great program that's going to be local. And we hope to see everybody there.
Exactly.
$20
and Scotty, you're there. I have tickets for you.
I'll come see you.
I'm like, and Odie, you better be there as well.
We will have to give that a shot.
I'll even let you backstage.
Woo, woo, woo,
woo. Look here. Now we're getting some.
I know. I'm trying to get as many people there as possible. But we have some really, really great artists. We have Wayne Varble, Don Portress, and my gosh, Bryce Long. And so all three of these guys are friends. They all write together. They've written several songs together. They all collaborate. Alana and I collaborate some a little bit with some writing. So it's just. When you're a songwriter, you're kind of dorky, I like to say. And you like to hang out with other people that are super creative and like to write and share ideas. And, and that's the art of songwriting is, what do you think about this?
Yep.
And I've sent things to Alana. What do you think about this? Or, hey, put your spin on it. And that's what these guys do. And then they send them to big performers like Brad Paisley, who wrote Waiting on a Woman. In one of Wayne Varble's interviews, he's saying, man, I just want to thank Brad Paisley for making me a wealthy man for singing Waiting on a Woman.
That way.
It did. And so it's so funny that, they send these songs to record companies and the record companies pair them with, the right performer, the right act. And look at Morgan Wallen. He has a songwriter. His name's John Byron.
He may not show up to sing it.
He may not show up, but but like his songwriter. Think about how much money that songwriter has made just off of him.
That's
and did you
right.
know that Ben Johnson actually has written a lot of Morgan Wallen songs as well? And Ben Johnson's right here from Meridian, and he's in track 45.
That's fantastic.
So we have a lot
Sunday-
of great talent here.
Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock at the Temple Theater. Thank y'all for coming in. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Y'all are very kind to come out and talk with us. Now, let's get into something here that we do every day that let's see what we know.
Exercise the noggin.
Yeah, and you have to have some exercise. And as we look at a few things, 1914, I bring this up because it is such a monumental thing. These guys work hard for their living. Let's go to the coal mines of Kentucky as we go back to remember those. It would be 1914 that 181 men would die today in West Virginia. It would happen again in 1924 when 119 would die when a coal mine fell in on those guys.
You know, that's tough work, and people really put their lives at risk to make and earn a living for their family.
It's a tough one. It's a very tough living.
tough job.
That coal miner's prayer that I put there to Dwight Yoakam kind of sums it up.
Yep.
It would be 1930 that this old gal would be born. She'd wear something tight, sexy, and it would be black.
And long, and
Yeah.
she just had a good time. And
Carolyn
she was
Sue.
always being kissed up and down her arm.
She was.
Yeah.
You ever done that to Amy?
Once
you
or
ever had that
twice.
urge just to
Yeah.
reach out? Okay, I'm just Angie'd slap me if I done this. She go, what's wrong with you, fool?
Well, she looks at me like I've lost my mind, and I told her, I said, well, I've never found it.
Oh. Now, this is one of the most beautiful women that has ever graced a TV screen and movie theater ever. It would be 1941 that Anne Margaret would be born, and you'll remember her hanging out with Elvis Presley in this.
Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yep.
Didn't she just really was a pretty woman?
She really
Always
was.
seemed nice, didn't she?
She did. Back then, I'm sure however they portrayed themselves was the way they portrayed themselves at all times, unlike the way you see some
Yeah.
of them nowadays.
Odie, how do you pronounce this last name of this lady?
Strassman.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Marcia. Marcy? She was born today. Remember Welcome Back Carter,
Oh,
the wife?
yeah, I loved old Welcome Back Carter. Welcome back, Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter.
Were you a fan of Horseshack? Is that
I liked him. I mean,
bless his heart. Benny Barberina. 1950, it's really hard to take the place of Johnny Carson, but this guy would, and he would make it with NBC for 20, almost, I believe, 32 years before they would depart with him. Jay Leno, born on this day back in 1950. 50. Yeah.
50. He's old, but he wasn't that old. He's big old car collector. Boy, he's got all kind of vehicles.
Let's see here. As we go back and we were talking about songwriters, one of the best from Mississippi was born on this day. Fred Knobloch. He was also in a group called SKO back in the late 90s. He wrote George Strait's song, Meanwhile, Lori Morgan's Back in Your Arm, and he's written tons and tons of other songs. But Fred Knobloch, born in the great state of Mississippi on this date. Jackson, Mississippi is where he calls home.
It's got to be something in the water around here, especially in Meridian.
Yeah, SKO, the song that they had, and only if you're a country music fan will you know this, Ain't No Easy Horses was their biggest song. Now, why that stuck with me all these years, I cannot tell you.
You tried to ride a few of them that bugged, huh?
I did.
I'm talking about horses.
Oh. 1967. You know, and I agree this guy was famous. I don't agree with this. Elvis did it, everyone else. Muhammad Ali refused to join the army.
Everybody but Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill would fit into that. He's somewhere washing his El Camino today.
No, either take part of what you're supposed to be or move somewhere that doesn't need your services.
I never understood all that. 1967, anybody remember Little Willie?
Golly.
From Little House on the Prairie? He was born on this day. His name was Jonathan Gilbert. That's an older version of him. But it was Willie that had to put up with Nellie all those years.
Poor kid. Golly. Could you imagine? I had a sister like her. Whew.
Beverly says that Arnold Horseshack was hilarious on the show.
He was.
Carl Merchant, good morning. Glad to see you up there.
Look at there.
Jerry Smith's joining us. Happy birthday to my son. He works at Lowe's, Big 37. Jerry, what's your son's name there? I may have overlooked it there. Make sure to get that to us there so we can.
Ricky Roberts is watching us this morning.
Yeah. 1973 we go, and what goes on behind closed doors? sometimes you don't really want to know, but Charlie Rich had the #1 song today, if y'all remember that tune. It was big. Also, about that time, do you remember, Hey, have you seen the most beautiful girl in the world?
Yes. Well, look at there. That was him that sang that. I used to go around singing that.
Yes. Let's see here. 1979. Anybody remember What's Happening?
Yeah, that was, golly, what other show come on with that? That was funny.
Which one are you trying to think
I'm
of?
trying to think. The one that came on, it was either right before that or right after that.
You'll have to remember. Give me a hint.
Golly,
What did it deal with?
It was. Now, see, now I'm trying to go back. I'll think of it in a minute. Every one of those shows back then were always funny.
Yes.
You didn't make anybody mad. It was stuff that everybody experienced every day and could relate with what went on with kids at school.
See, folks, this is a prime example of old age, when it hits you and you just can't remember things. I do it all the time.
They call that CRS.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, what's that stand for?
I can't remember.
Okay. 1987, this guy, I remember sitting in the Temple Theater talking to this man. He was a legend. In 1987, he had the #1 song, Rose in Paradise, if y'all remember that. Like me some Waylon Jennings.
Wow.
Just a good old boy. We would lose one of the greatest Western actors, and he even tried his hand at singing a little bit there.
Oh, Festus.
Festus passed away in 1991. I'm not going to say that there's a resemblance.
How'd y'all name me Festus from down there at Freeman Tractor?
They say you look just like him.
Was it the hat?
They're wanting you to wear a hat bad. 1991, Ricky Van Shelton, I know you've heard of him, and a lady named Dolly Parton, who is just humongous, had a #1 song today called Rockin' Years, Rockin' Babies. Anybody remember that?
Are we talking about her career?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. 2007, anybody remember, as we mentioned Little House on the Prairie, we would have one born on today, and we would also lose another one as they faded away and went to the pearly gates on this date. Do y'all remember him?
What else did he play in?
Oh, he's been in several things, and I can't remember. Reverend Alden.
Wasn't he on the Green Mile?
Which part?
He played the old man of Tom Hanks that was in the nursing home that was telling the story.
I think you may. Yeah, I think you're right because he's skinnier.
I want to say that's him. Y'all, is that what it is? Y'all know more than we do.
Yeah.
Is he the one? Is Robert Dabbs Greer the one that played the older person on Green Mile? Joey says, yeah, that was him.
Okay, so now we know.
All right.
That was good, but if I'd have watched the movie, it might have. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Because that face, I'm like, I know him from somewhere besides just Little House.
There you go.
Green Mile was good.
Oh, I just got slammed by my wife.
Uh-oh.
It just come in. Did it live on television? You can't hide from these things. Says he wasn't Willie. He was Albert, Laura's adopted brother.
Oh.
Ooh, I really thought I was right there.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. 2000, thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. In 2000, the final show of this one finally happened. The Cosby Show ended. I never watched this version.
No, I remember when they were all kids.
Yeah, I didn't watch
know
that
they had
other.
another version.
In 2008, the #1 album in America, probably still pretty strong now, George Strait and Troubadour. That's a great song. Just can't beat
old George.
Just can't beat George Strait. No. That's a few things that happened on this date. Hopefully, it brought back a memory or two of something that you remembered. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. So many folks joining us in this morning. Debbie Moles says, yeah, he was on the Green Miles.
That's right.
Now, let's see. And I got corrected on up here somewhere on how to pronounce the lady's name from...
there it is.
Right there.
I would pronounce that.
Marsha?
Marsha.
Instead of Yeah, and I could have said that wrong, Rita. And I appreciate that. Because it's one of those I'm not real sure on.
We'll go with that.
It wasn't a good name like Fred or Velma or something I could.
Jay, you know.
Come on. They need to help me here. Scotty Ray and Odie, it is Friday. We'll be right back. If you're an outdoorsman, Garrett's Outfitters is the place to head to in Meridian. They have a complete line of gloves to keep your hands warm in these cold mornings, toboggans to block that wind, and America's favorite Carhartt, from the rugged overalls to slacks and shirts. Work boots and mud boots as well. Browse around the gun accessories and a complete line of just about any gun. Protect your investment, your guns, with one of the many Browning gun safes they have to choose from. For the outdoorsman in your family, it's Garrett's, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Summertime has arrived, and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Have you been in an auto accident? Call Will Parker. Get the help you deserve. Call Will Parker. Don't settle for less and know your rights. Call Will Parker. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Call your Meridian lawyer, Will Parker.
If you need something a little cool to drink today, Maple's one-stop shop is there. Gatorade, look at this, 2 for $5.29. This is going on for a few months here. Also, if you need a Pepsi product, 2 for $4. So you'll find that at Maple's. And they're getting ready for so many different things that are coming up, like breakfast and lunch.
Man, a little bit of everything. I think I want me some of that fried chicken, the nuggets, and some tater logs today from 31st Avenue.
That's good. Now, also, they'll do a plate lunch if you'd rather have that. But, man, it's hard to beat those tater logs. Drop in and visit with our friends. You'll find one of the cleanest stores around. Cold drinks, candy bars, and lottery tickets, the whole 9 yards. It's there. Yep. Maple's one-stop shop with at least 6 locations: Bonita, Pine Springs, Causeyville, all the way out to 31st Broadmoor, and Last Chance Tobacco there on Highway 493 is where you'll find all that good stuff there.
They're everywhere. And nice people. It's going to say, hey, when you come in the door.
We've gotten a text from the Sheriff's Department.
Here we go.
Clark County checking in. And we were talking about the Green Mile there.
Yeah.
The Reverend Alden. Todd tells us he also played Jonas on Gunsmoke for years. I didn't realize that.
It's not just us. We have some of the smartest listeners.
I'm telling you.
Wow, we couldn't be more blessed. That's great.
It is.
Keeps everybody on our toes.
It absolutely does.
Huh. He does more and more, and we just didn't even think about it.
Uh-huh.
But that's all right.
We appreciate that information there, as always.
Yes.
Let's see who that's. Joey Eekman saying good morning to us. We appreciate that. As we glance around a few things other that is going on in our areas there, let's see here. I was going to get over here. 2 restaurant shootings in Jackson, Mississippi. They've made an arrest on that. He just picked that out and wanted to do that for some reason. They had a hit and run on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and they finally got their man. There's nothing worse than that. Somebody gets injured. You know, it was in North Mississippi not long ago. A gentleman got hit on his bicycle, and it took them quite some time to catch the perpetrators of that.
And it's just going to get worse.
It does. Did you hear the little girl that told Biden he needed to go back in the White House?
No, I didn't see that.
He gave another press conference, and as he often does, he got confused during his latest speech there.
I'll say it's not so.
As we go to this next story, this is one of those nationwide stories as we look at this. Colorado's where this happened. We've seen this in the news to where somebody gets up on an overpass and they throw bricks over the top of it.
Yeah.
I think it even happened here out in the Lost Gap area a few years ago.
It did out in also Tumsupa.
People throwing rocks from bridges, hitting cars, and it goes through windshield. Well, this time in Colorado, it would turn out tragic. A young lady who was 20 years old driving home from work, it went through a windshield, her car flipped and killed her. The people that did it, this is where it gets bad, and they're going to be charged extra for this. After they did it, they left the scene, then turned around and went back to take pictures of her dead to brag about it. The judge is throwing the book at them.
And rightfully so.
Wow. You can't help but wonder what is in someone's mind that would be that cruel and mean to someone, Odie.
You really want to study and say, okay, what was your childhood like? What was your upbringing like? Because something isn't clicking.
Daily Mail got the pictures of these three, and these are the three that turned around and go back to get those pictures that killed that young lady. Let me just show that. That's the face of a killer, or killers.
Killers.
Yeah. It just shocks you with some of the things that you read.
It's terrible.
Well, as press conferences often happen, as we know that there's a storm brewing on the Republican side as who's going to run for president.
Yep.
I think we're all pretty sure that a guy named Trump from New York is going to run. I don't think even wild horses could stop him.
No. President of the United States in 2024.
Now, every poll that we're seeing, and although people like him, Ron DeSantis would be the number 2 guy. Right now, again, you've got Donald leading this over and over, double digits over him in this.
Oh, yeah.
He was asked about it, and you know how people get into the body language?
Yeah.
And they asked him one of the questions. They said, for the first time, they've seen him rattled over this, and he comes off, well, it's not even announced that I'm even going to run. And they said by his body language, Donald has finally gotten to him. He's shaking the cage.
All right, so sit down with DeSantis and say, hey, you want to run as a vice president?
I think that would be the ticket. It would be unstoppable.
No matter what, Donald's only got one more.
Yeah.
So this could be it. And
put aside your differences.
Because you've both got the same thing. Y'all both want what's best for the country and the taxpayers, and together y'all can do it. And then you'll have a solid 8 years behind it if y'all work together.
But that even goes on the other side of the aisle of whoever's running. It's already announced that Joe is going to keep Kamala. She's going to stay with him. I really thought all that talk early in their campaign that he was going to switch at some point.
Now, who is she?
They say she's the vice president. We don't hear much out of her.
Okay. I think I remember the name.
You have heard the name.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in the election things. Now, as you get down on this Trump thing, does he say things that are way out there? He absolutely does. But I have never met, and you go, well, why don't a lot of people like the man? Well, he doesn't have to borrow money from them. He's not having to do favors to get money, and so he doesn't answer to people. Yep. And that makes other people want to get rid of people like that don't owe them favors, and they will stop at nothing to get you. Well, maybe even making up stories about Russia.
Well, I mean, he runs his mouth some.
He does.
I give him that, and do I like it? No, not really. But could you imagine if he didn't get on Twitter and Facebook and defend himself?
Oh.
What the left would have done over those last 4 years? Because he had to defend himself. I give him kudos for doing that.
I do.
And then some of it was not necessarily something that I would say he needed to do, but that's not why I voted for him. I voted for him because he did change our lives. He changed our paychecks. He was bringing companies back to the United States. They quit going back over to Mexico. And only the ones who had a little bit of common sense or more could understand what he meant by Mexico's going to pay for it. Only the ones who don't really understand how economics works.
It wasn't like they were going to write a check.
Thought they were going to write a check. Come on. Somebody need to explain it to you.
Donald summed it up best this week in the interview when he goes, I am my own worst enemy. And that's true.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Scotty Ray and Odie, good morning.
It's campaign season. Do yourself a favor and elect Reed Tree Service. Got a tree that scares you each time that it sways in the wind? Elect Reed Tree Service to remove that threat. Have storm winds knocked a tree down in your yard and you want it gone? Elect Reed Tree Service. Professional, experienced, insured. Call Mike 601-416-1233 and elect Reed Tree Service for all of your needs. Tell them Scotty Ray sent you.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, Mississippi, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been operating for over 10 years and boasts over 30 vendors with a rotating inventory to fit that something you're looking for. Inventory is constantly updating, so there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located on 335 West Main Street in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
Hi, I'm Nick Lisi. I am owner of Pinch and Tails Crawfish Shack here in Marion, Mississippi. We are located right across the street from the Subway Sandwich Shop, right next to the Little Griddle. If you're a seafood lover, we have the absolute best seafood in town. We carry crawfish, shrimp, lobster tails, raw oysters, snow crab, corn potato sausage, all the fixins. And for all of your special orders and catering needs, please call 601-934-0598. We're located in downtown Marion.
You know, as we talk about gardening, you got to do that. It's going to be a lot of that this weekend of folks getting ready for this. Well, springtime is here, and as we get everything beautified, curb appeal, making it look great outside, whether it's just a pot or a pair of gloves that you need, and weed killer, boy, that is the next thing. If you've got too many weeds growing in your yard, they've got plenty of this to choose from at the Farm Supply. A great glider to sit on.
Man, I'd love to have me one of those outside.
Don't that look good?
That's comfy right there.
Of course, all those who love birdhouses and feeding the animals, that's a great thing. Even stuff with the squirrels there, you'll find it all. Turkey calls and a whole lot more. They got it at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Footwear, if you need that.
Carhartt, good stuff.
Sir, it is. And of course, for anything for your pet. See them today. Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Feed, seed, and a whole lot more. Exit 151 off the interstate. Visit with them today. Let's see, we're coming up on 7:55, and we have not talked about the gentleman that passed away yesterday. You watched him for years. It was a fight after fight on his show.
He made money by bringing people who he knew was going to end up fighting it out. And, of course, finding out who the daddy was.
Yep.
Or if you was the daddy.
Jerry Springer is who we're talking about. How old was Jerry?
79.
79.
And then wasn't he in the Senate? Or politics? Didn't he get into politics?
It may be. I may have missed that, Odie.
And then he went into his own little Jerry the Judge.
He did do that for a while.
But yeah, he started a whole new trend on TV when it come to talk TV of more fighting than it was anything else.
It was.
He pitted people against each other.
We want to say thank y'all. We don't do that here.
Happy birthday, Colby. Want to say happy birthday.
That's Colby Mosley, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Big 14th birthday. We're coming back Monday morning. We're going to track everything that happens over the weekend just for you. Join us bright and early. What time, Monday?
71 hours away from now at 7 a.m. Come be with us. We love y'all. Thank y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.